Yule inakaa na toka.
Lakini iko live sahi.
Oh.
Tuko live.
Thank you so much.
Okay, everyone, karibu kwa. Jane, unaweza endelea.
Okay, thank you. Karibuni sana. In just a single minute, I will allow Vincent to introduce yourself, please.
Good evening, Eco family, and everyone who is watching us through all the platforms. It's another wonderful day. We are glad and rejoice in it. It's always an honor and a pleasure to be in this platform to share experiences, to have this conversation by us and for us. I'm a cop, 15 years in service, and I'm happy to be here, and I'm looking forward. I'm here with an expectant heart. I'm here to learn and to share.
Thank you. Dura?
Okay, thank you. My name is Dura. I'm a creative director, a filmmaker, and I'm a mental wellness advocate. I always tell myself, as I tell others, that it's always okay not to be okay. So I'm glad to be part of the conversation, and thank you everyone who is always part of this conversation, because it's time we created a safe space for anyone who feels like he has lost it all. We are here for you. Cheki tubonge. Ama ni aje?
Thank you. Thank you, Dura. My name is Jane Joka.
Okay.
A retired banker, having worked in the banking sector for 18 good years. I felt that was not my calling. Quit and started psychology from basics. So ndasema karibuni sana. Today's topic is quite interesting. Goals and ambitions. Very interesting. I am one person now who is actually nafungua roho. Hata mimi ni some because I think I've been in this one. So today we are going to handle 4 topics as usual on goals and ambitions. The first one will be, what does one need to do to live a fulfilled life? The second one will be, what makes most people not reach their full potential? The third one, what makes people walk through life with unfulfilled dreams? And then the fourth one is, what's a social media influence in achieving our or your goals and dreams? Well, let me say, on the first one, what does one need to do, Vincent, that to live a fulfilled life? Before even we ask what does one need to do to live a fulfilled life, I want to ask, what is a fulfilled life?
Thank you very much, Madam Anne. I would say a fulfilled life is a full. Of course, you cannot tell that you are living a fulfilled life, but I think by the end of yourself, I think your legacy and the story that you leave behind that will define your life. So I would say that living a fulfilled life is basically being within your purpose, being within what God created you to be. Yeah.
Personally, if I want to answer the same question, what is a fulfilled life? According to me, a fulfilled life should be all. You know, there are so many aspects of life. There is a financial career, there is a mental wellness, so many, family, personal, physical. If we have all those balanced, because if you have one on top and the others at zero, then the life, some things are going to pull you down. To me, a fulfilled life is a all balanced life. That is what I wouldn't say it is a whole balanced life in all aspects that you feel are important. Because to some people, maybe there are issues that may not be of so much, important, and maybe they are important to others. Well, if again, Vincent, let me ask, what do we need to do then for us to live a fulfilled life?
I think from where I sit, I think I'll address it more on from a spiritual perspective, and I'll say
Yes,
that
yes.
we have a creator, and this creator is God, and He has created
Yes.
us within certain parameters, and that is the creation. We're in this world for a very particular reason, and so for
Yes.
you to connect with your purpose, you have to connect with your creator, and your creator is God. And let me quote Genesis chapter 1, verse 26, verse 7. Uh, God is there doing the entire creation. He's done. He's almost midday around on the sixth day. And he says that let's make human beings in our image. And by image, I'm not
Yes.
talking about the physical appearance, because I mean, there are more than 7 billion people who are alive, and we don't look the same. But by
Yes.
what he means by like us, and he's referring to the Trinity, is God the Father, God the Son, and God the Spirit. He's referring
Yes.
to that Trinity, and Trinity is a spirit. So he was referring into the human essence, the spirit part of it. A human being is made of the body, mind, and soul. So he was referring to the
Yes.
soul. But then this soul cannot hang on itself. So he creates a body where the soul and the mind are housed. So as I was just saying about chapter Genesis chapter 1, verse 26, about us being created, we are created being.
Yes.
Therefore, for us to understand why God created us, we need to be connected to Him. He is a spirit. And for us to be able to discern what God the Spirit is talking to us, we need to have a connection. This is only possible through the power of the
Yes.
Holy Spirit. We cannot be able to connect with the Holy Spirit if we are not born again. And being born again is acknowledging that Jesus Christ is our Savior. He's the Son of God who came to die. He took all our pain, and he took all our iniquities, and he connected and reconciled us unto our Father. But maybe the question the question is, how did we lose this connection? When the fall of man
Yes.
came, that is when man sinned. Then there was a big gap, and that gap needed to be bridged. And I think the history of the Old Testament and the New Testament, where Jesus Christ comes and dies, it is all about humanity being connected to their Creator. It's like the Indian Ocean. If I believe by international laws, if we interfere with the River Tana in one or another, there'll be issues, because Indian Ocean is connected to the water towers that are around Mount Kenya. So if you disconnect Indian Ocean with the towers, the water towers that are around Mount Kenya, then there'll be issues. So it is like a human being who is not connected to their creator. They will never be able to achieve their full potential. They'll never be able to understand why they were created. So for us, what we need so that we can fall into our purpose and into the will of God, and into us activating our full potential, is connecting to our source, which is God. Yeah.
Wow. Thank you, Vincent. I like the way you brought it out in a very spiritual way, and I would say that you're right, because we are on this world with a mission, and it's only God who can. It's only from actually seeking why we are here. On this earth, we are here on a mission. We have to seek from our Creator why we are here. one person once said that if you go to a supermarket and, for example, you are buying maybe a pen, or maybe it's something that you do not even know whatever it is. What you do is you go to the instructions. The
The
company there
manual.
tells you this is ABCD, and the reason is for this, and yeah. So we have to go back again to our creator to get our purpose. Well, I don't know. Let me also take it from another dimension. We are in a society where we have been told, do what you love, do what makes you, is it what makes you happy or something?
Mm.
How is that? How is that?
Well. It's a good foundation, but I would say it's not a fully founded or well-established foundation. It's good to follow what you like, but remember, we are human beings. We've got emotions.
Yes.
I mean, it's only God who doesn't change. All of us are expected to change. So along the way, you realize that some of these things do change based on the experiences
Yes.
and based on maybe mental frame, the emotions, and
Time.
the time and the things that we are going through. And you realize if you're going to depend on that, that means you'll never have a proper foundation.
Yes.
At some point, it's going to crumble. And I think
Yes.
we've had stories. Look at Michael Jackson. I don't think that is the life that he wanted. He wanted to end up having. I mean,
Yes.
he hit the world. He was all over the world. He made a lot of money, but then I would say he died prematurely because his foundation was about following his heart. But the question is, a heart is something
Yes.
that is alive. What do you feed it?
Yeah.
Because as we have said that we need to connect with our creator, there are parameters that and ways that God has made us to connect with him. One is the living word,
Yes.
is the living word, which is the Bible. If you're not connected to the Bible, you're not getting the standard of living that he wishes you to use in this imperfect world. Because this word is incorruptible, it is imperishable. But we are in this world that is full of ideas and philosophies that are coming up. So if you're going to establish your life based on such kind of things like following your heart or living out your life, you don't have any
Emotions.
other life, emotions, I don't think you'll be able to you'll be able to go far. And remember, we are in between a matrix. They are descendants, our forefathers who are ahead of us. And for prosperity, we came and connected with them, and we are going to hand over to the next generation. So it's a matrix that we need to connect. And I don't think we are supposed to connect it
Yes.
based on emotions. We are supposed to connect it based on the spiritual realm. And that's how we can be
The
able to,
spiritual realm.
that's how we can be able to realize our full potential. So I don't agree with that part that we follow what to our heart. Sometimes we also need
Yes.
to question our hearts. We need to reflect back, and I think that's why we meditate, so that we can have a proper understanding of where our emotions are. Remember, for example, we are in the political season. Right now, our emotions are all over. And a few years down the line, then we'll sober up and ask ourselves, how did we even vote in these people? So we cannot depend on our emotion. Yeah.
Thank you Vincent. Zura, nitakuuliza swali. What when it comes to a fulfilled life, according to you, what is a fulfilled life?
Yes. Yes.
Fulfilled life ni nini, according to you, from your perspective?
A fulfilled life, according to me, ni just choices. Choices.
Yes.
From my perspective, fulfilled life it's just a matter of choices.
Yes.
Juu maybe kwangu fulfilled life I describe like I don't want a lot of money. Nataka a peaceful life. with maybe kwa karanch kangu na mambuzi makuku, mkikam na wachinjia, nataka kulima yangu, but mse mwingine anataka like yeye kuhamia town ajenge unaitanga aje sijui ma penthouse. Kuna mse anataka penthouse, so like the choice you make hiyo ndio like description ya a fulfilled life. By the way, unacheki hata Vinia na show unapata kuna mse ameamua kazi yake ni wizi tu. By the way, huyo mse huwezi mtoa, unajua hiyo ndio kitu inabamba, unaona yani unapenda mzee kichwa ngumu, yeye anasikia tu yani kuvuruga tu, unaona hiyo ni choice na maybe hiyo ndio kitu inamfulfill, but kama ni choices like hapo ndipo most of the people like who get confused, wanna get lost, to make the wrong choices. Unaanza situations maybe za mental health hapo unaona vile Vini amesema it's something spiritual, unaanza kulose hiyo spirituality yako. Like una make choices mpaka saa inafika point kwa life unaanza kublame to God, shetani, yani inakuwa yani kila kitu. By the way, most humans it's sad that when things haziendi fiti, unasikianga mazeka shetani kadhiniingilia sijui nini, na vitu zikiwa fiti mazee hata ukumbuki kuambia God mazee thanks. Vitu ziko sawa, zikiwa sawa unakuanga sherehe tu bila hasira, lakini south vitu zikifika south mpaka unaanza kuambia God mazee, wewe kwani wewe ni mtu aina gani? Unaona, na hiyo time ni choice yako azayuma imekufikisha hapo, unaona. Okay, Queen B, karibu sana.
Asante, mambo. Hi everyone.
Hi.
Hello Queen B.
I've missed you guys.
Karibu sana Queen B. We missed you too.
Yeah, thank you.
So Queen B,
if Gura even may ask, what dictates our choice?
Yeah.
What dictates our choice?
What
dictates our choice?
Choices.
Or where do we gather these choices that we make?
Yes.
Oh, what dictates our choices? It all goes down to your spiritual self, because most people don't understand that as a human being kuna kitu tunaitanga akili, your mind.
Yes.
Na kuna heart yako. Your heart is your soul. Na unafeedingi heart yako na soul yako na zile demons unataka. Ni wewe utachoose. So like the moment mse hata realize like actually Vincent, I realized that most mental health issues zinakuanga spiritual. Juu una fight demons zenye yani zinachana na wewe mpaka zinakushow mazee wasee hawadai kukuona. Wasee hawadai kukuona. Unaanza hizo trauma zinaanza mazee. Kuna time uncle alinifanyia nini, hizo ni ma spirits mazee una fight. But the moment kuna kitu Vincent amesema like our spiritual well-being is the most important thing. Hiyo spiritual awareness.
Thank you, Thura.
Now,
Thank you so much.
Okay.
Yes. Queen B.
Yes.
Queen B, you can hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
What is a fulfilled life according to you?
A fulfilled life is the
In your
life that
simple-
everyone. Sorry?
In your simple way of defining it.
I define it's a simple life, like a life that everyone is seeking right now. You know, a fulfilled
Yes.
life, a life that you have everything that you would want to seek in this life, which is the life that everyone seeks. So I can say it is the life that everyone seeks. It is the life that we all want, and sometimes we can say that it is a perfectly alive life, if you get what I mean. A perfectly alive life, every moment.
Okay.
Yes, a perfectly lived and alive life. A life where you know, a life is not about, the time that we live, the amount of time that we live. It's about the memories that we make in that time. Yeah.
Thank you, Queen B, for that. We go to the second point that, and even before we go to the second point, I want to ask, maybe again to you, Queen B, how do we then come up with the goals and ambitions of life? How do we come up with them? Because your goals and your ambitions are different from mine.
Yeah. I think our goals and ambition are driven from our passion. What are you passionate about? When you're passionate about something, you make it your goal. When you make it your goal, you focus your ambition now towards it, because ambition is the drive and the push towards what you're passionate about. And what you're passionate about will lead you to your ultimate dream. So I think it has to be, a goal should be something that you're passionate about. And something that you're passionate about, you're definitely going to be working ambitiously towards it, depending on how much you want it. Yeah.
Vincent, let me ask you, what makes us not then reach our full potential?
I would say, as I had laid my argument from the earlier conversation, is that most of the time is that we are disconnected from the source, and as long as we are disconnected from the source, it's like how do I put it? There's a way how we used to make trees dry. We would cut off the bark in a way that there was no proper flow of nutrients and the elements that the plant needs. Yeah. So it is the same with us. When we are disconnected spiritually, we don't know. One, we don't understand who we are, so we are in an identity crisis. When you don't know who you are and you are battling your identity crisis, that means you have no values. You have no. You don't even understand your personality. You don't understand why we are here. So basically, you are lost. So I would say, first is that we are disconnected from our Creator. So we lack the basic element that we need for us to be able to move ahead. And I think there's something that there's a book that has been written by Rick Warren, and I always challenge teenagers to read that book, because I mean, at that age they are within their transformative stages, and there are people who even come in later, depending on how you get exposed to this thing. There's something that he calls SHAPE as an acronym. SHAPE stands for spiritual gifts, your heart, the abilities, your personality, and your experience. All these things, they compound together to be who you are. Now, in an African context, the way we've been raised, we were not taught on how to understand our spiritual gifts. We were not able to understand, to learn, or to listen the voice of our heart. we were not trained to understand our perfect abilities and our personalities, and maybe to shy away from experiences. For example, you've come
Yes.
from a family that is of divorcees, or maybe a single parent. You realize most of us, we try to hide away from it. But one thing that I know is that God
Yes.
never wastes anything. The gift, the talent, the unique experiences that we go through, the personality that is in us, the weaknesses and the strength that we have as individuals and as human beings, they are meant to help us to move to the next level. And remember that this life that we are living, it's not something that is outside of us. It is within us.
Yes.
But there's a principle that God has established in us, that everything that is worth and valuable is hidden within something. Look at the gold that is in South Africa. I mean, you hear that they go feet below the earth, kilometers, just to try to get it. But when it is refined and it is goes through the refining process, it becomes the most valuable, one of the most valuable metals. But if you look at our background and the way we've been taught to run away from problems and issues. And I think it is in our human nature to run away from it. So I would say that those are some of the things that make us not live a fulfilled life. These are some of the things that make us not reach our potential. These are things that make us live unfulfilled life. And the moment you live unfulfilled life, then you're not even passionate in what you do. There's something that Kubi has mentioned, the passion. Some of the things that you get excited with, if you get deeper in understanding them, you realize that your purpose is within those things. For me, I always believe that I've been called to transform people's lives. And this is what I usually say. We all have unique fingerprints. And each and every time you hold something, you leave your fingerprint there. So for me, I always believe that each and every time that we have an interaction with the individual, I ought to leave an essence of me in them.
Yes.
The all things that God has imputed in me, I ought to share them with the world out there. But then capitalism came in, whereby we have commercialized everything. So I may be having a solution to the world, but since the world is not paying for it, then I'll stay with it. What we forget is that we are like a candle. You don't dim your light when you light another light. You light another candle. But the more you light more candles, the more we lighten this imperfect and dark world.
Thank you, Vincent. Queen B, you are an artist. Maybe you can take us through how you came, how you knew that was. Is it a passion? Is it a talent? How did you come? How are you to know that is your in thing? If I would say that.
Sometimes talent is like a calling, because when I started my music career, I was very young. I was barely 7 years old when I was writing poems and starting my music. But my parents didn't think that it was that serious. But I never stopped. I continued because it was something that I think it is something that heals me. So also when you love to do something and enjoy doing it, it heals you. It relieves you of stress. It doesn't stress you. So that's how my music is for me. And I think it is something that I enjoy doing. It is something that I love doing. It is something that I am passionate about. It is something that I don't get tired of. So I'll say I just realized that it is the one thing that I am good at, really, really good at. And that applies to like the same of having a goal. Like when I realized I'm good in this, now I made it my goal to be the best at what I do. So when you realize you have a talent and you want to make it your life, you now make it your goal. You now make it your dream to be big, So, and I can say up to now, I'm still growing in it because it is my goal to be better at it each and every time. So, yeah, it is something that I think it should be also something that heals you and makes you feel better about yourself and makes you feel really good about yourself. Yes.
Thank you for that. Karibu, Mr. Munyi.
Yes, asante sana Jen.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let me ask you something. What makes most of us not reach our full potential?
Oh, okay. So, yeah, I've been trying to follow. Sorry, I had some issues with network, but I've been trying to follow. And
Yes.
I'm really going to try and avoid, bringing up a repetition of anything that maybe have been talked about. But maybe from the top of my head, what was the question again? What makes people?
What makes let's not even say people. What makes
Okay.
us not reach our full potential?
Okay. Self-doubt. Self-doubt is the enemy of all dreams.
Yes, yes.
Self-doubt is that thing that you will be moving towards your dream, yes, but at some point you lose belief in yourself. And someone said losing belief in yourself literally means you're losing belief in God.
Yes.
So when maybe just I don't know whether I'll be going back again, but maybe just to put it out from a very young age,
Yes.
Queen B, I just heard Queen B say, she realized that she has a talent when she was 7 years old. Now, from that age, and I believe even if I'll draw one to maybe everyone, including Dura, like if you're to be asked at that age, you always been asked, what do you want to be when you grow up?
Yes.
That was a very common question. What do you want to be when you grow up? In making and in answering that question, most of us, unlike Queen Bee, who lies among the few who really tapped into who they are when they're young, most of us used to give answers based on what is the next big thing. So you'll go for the
Yes.
obvious doctor, pilot, engineer, but you'll find ask the same question again. Maybe Vincent would have wanted to be something very different apart from what he's doing. Some of us were artists from
Yes.
that tender age of Queen Bee when she realized that. Only that we didn't have people around us to encourage and see that thing that is in us. So it becomes very difficult when you're of age, or rather when you've lived life and you're trying to figure that thing that makes you come to life, right? So for us not to reach that potential, self-doubt is the number one contributor. Like somewhere along the way, you lose direction, you lose hope, and you lose focus.
Wow. Thank you, Mr. Munyi.
Yep.
Dura, you could be coming from a family maybe the one that I come from. We lost Dura.
Okay.
Queen B, let me pose this question to you. Maybe you come from a family like the one that I came from, where our parents thought that you have to go through the education system, get some good grades, become so and so, get a pay at the end of the month. How was it like?
Yeah, I definitely came from such a family, because as African parents believe education is the only way. That is why most of our parents don't support the talent. Yeah, you can play soccer, yes, we cheza mpira lakini usianguke kwa darasa. Unaweza we imba lakini ukianguka usirudi kwa nyumba yangu. So I believe we all have come from such a homestead, and I just think that what Muni had said about believing in yourself. You just don't doubt yourself. As for me, I can say what I did was, yes, I went to school, I did your college, nilienda nikasoma, but at the end of the day, I was like, you wanted the papers, fine, I got the papers, but now I am going to do what I actually love. So it's about not letting it go. It's about holding on to it. Doesn't matter what, even if you're not getting the support. I have seen my friends who are lawyers and they still go to the studio and they're like, I really wanted to do this. I really wish I was doing this. But why are you not doing it? If you really want to, you should do it. That is one thing about chasing your dream. You don't give up on it because of circumstance. If you want to do it, you should do it. If you're not going to pursue it, then you didn't love it as much from the first place.
Thank you. Vincent.
Yeah, so having a I was saying having a dream is like having a dream is like nurturing a small child. You don't let go of them. Hata zeke afike miaka 50 bado anakuanga mtoto wako. So you invest in it. You invest in your dream. You invest your time. You invest your dedication. You even cut off friends because of this dream. Having goals and setting goals requires sacrifices. Not everyone is going to agree with you, including your parents. So you just have to be rigid at what you want.
And maybe just to add on to that, Queen B, there's a quote I came across, I think sometime last week, that says,
Yes.
don't tell your big dreams to small minds. Again, we also have an issue with
I
that.
know that. I know
You,
that quote.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So you have like the most brilliant of dreams, and people forget. And this is the bit I think I found Vincent explaining, but my network was slow. There's a
Yes.
spiritual aspect when it comes to goals. There's it comes with this thing. It's a statement that people have used differently. YOLO, which is very true. You only live once. You only live once. You're not
Yes.
here to
Yeah.
do a rehearsal, then come back and do it again bigger and better. No, you're here now. You understand? It's not that you're rehearsing so that next time you'll have more experience. So if it's about your dreams, these things are not from you. These things are from the source. And if
Yeah.
you're the one who is living here and you're living once, look at yourself as a vessel that God, the source, has chosen to carry this thing and bring it to life. To take us to the good old book, the good old book says, I have given you the power to procreate or to create, right?
Yes.
In the essence, God is a creator. God had a dream. God had a vision. God said, let there be light, and there was light. He started creation. Akanaisnayo sana akasema, yo, let there be this and this and this, up until he got to the human being and stuff, right? So we ourselves also have the same power to create. But as human beings, what we've done is that we focus so much on the one power that we know about creation, and that's procreation. A friend of mine likes to argue that if you invested the same energy you use in that beautiful activity called procreation, if you were to invest the same energy in your goals and dreams, because it's energy at the end of the day, in your
It
goals and
is.
dreams, you'll end up creating beautiful things. Well, I don't know how it's going to translate to different people, but what I
Yes.
meant is it's a creation. You're there as the creator. And if this thing is growing in you, it's what Queen B said. It's up to you to nurture this baby, protect this baby, protect them from your friends who may not be too happy about, your goals and your
Yes.
vision. Be so selfish about it that it hurts, up until the dream comes to life.
Thank you, Mr. Muni.
Yes.
Vincent, I've heard Queen B has said something about parenting when it comes to goals and ambitions. Our African way of doing things, we are so focused on the academics only. So yes, it's important. We are quite interested in academics, and we cannot all be A's. We cannot all be doctors. There is a grading system, and everyone anyway there will be someone on whichever grade. How would you handle that?
I think last week we mentioned about parenting, and we said we cannot blame them. They were on a survival mode. For them, it was about having the basic. So when you look at the when you look at the Maslow's hierarchy of needs, them
Yes,
they were able only to pursue the bottom level where we just have food, shelter, clothing, and even that they didn't give us the best. They gave us
the basics.
the bare minimum. I remember it's not that we lacked, but I think I had only a pair of shorts the entire class 6, 7, 8. It had so many patches, not because they did not have, but according to their needs and their aspiration, that was luxury. So
Yes.
you realize that a family setup, and I think family setup, I think Gashagwa mentioned yesterday that this
Yes.
is the first lens that a child has towards the outside world. So if you cannot even afford the basic needs, that means the physiological needs you'll not be able to achieve them, and that's where the dreams and the vision, that the passion and the goals comes in, the understanding of oneself. So I think parenting has a big role, But then I think we're in a different dispensation whereby we are encouraging our kids to be themselves. But also, even as much as we are telling them to be themselves, we have to understand that everything has a guideline that guides. Now, in a setup, especially Kenya, education and papers is what is paying. That's why we have educated graduates, but they are not analytical. They cannot even solve their own. They cannot even survive on their own. So these are just people who have been taken through the system, but they have not learned. They have just been educated. And education is just filling of an empty vessel with information. And I think there's one individual by the name of, he's an artist, I think Queen Bee knows him. He's called Peterson. He used to be a banker and he quit. I think he's a gospel artist. What he did, he went to school, got the papers, and pursued his dream. So the education that we have, we can still use it. And as I mentioned about the acronym SHAPE, that is an experience. So our education system ought to be a channel that leads us to understand who we are. And what we said earlier is that this life, we are not trying to find a meaning out of it. We are trying to discover it. And remember, we are work in progress. You might discover it in your 40. And I think, I don't know who said this, that there are 2 days that are very important in each one of us lives. One is the day that we are born.
Yes.
The second is the day that you understand why you were created and why you were born. So I think we ought to come back to a point whereby we understand our setup. It might not be as progressive as the Western civilization, but we can say that let's understand each and everything that happens in our lives, the life that your parent took you through. If you compound them together at some point, you'll come to realize that they helped you in one or another. You might want to look at it from a negative perspective, but I think if you focus on the star that is shining while it is too dark, you'll see the whole beauty of the whole thing. So let's not focus on the bad things that have happened. Let's not focus on the experiences that we've gone through, bad experiences that are still traumatic to us. There's a few things that we can be able even to pick from those issues. So maybe to answer your question is that parenting is a part of it. Education is part of it. Our experiences is part of it. Where you are working today is part of it. It may not be your dream. It may not be your purpose today. But if you look keenly, if you dig keenly, there's one lesson that you're going to decipher from that experience, and you're going to use it in the next phase of life.
Thank you, Vincent. I'm laughing because I think I'm one person who quit corporate world when I was at the height of my career, actually. And one person I think who never understood me, Nanika Uma Block, for I think 3 years, was my mother. You know? Niviri alimisi kitanda Madhare. I would have found myself in that psychiatric hospital.
And I think, Madam Jane.
Yes.
Oh, sorry for cutting you short. I think we have connected our purpose with success and fame. I think those are 2 different things, and we need to differentiate the 2. Yeah, there's the aspect of being successful, but that does not mean that you have lived a purpose-driven life. And that's why I mentioned about Michael Jackson. He was successful. He was famous. He traveled the globe. He had all the accolades that anyone could have won at his level at that particular time, but he never lived a fulfilled life. And that's why he died prematurely. Yes.
Thank you, Vincent. Well, let's look at the 3rd point that we have. What makes people walk through life with unfulfilled dreams? We are told many people now are walking dead. People died at 30 years. They are only waiting to be buried, and they may be buried at 80. What makes us go through that life in that? Unakuta tu mtu tu ako tu, you know, doesn't have any reason, any purpose. Ako tu, if I would say.
Yeah, maybe just to try pick up on that, yeah?
Yes.
It still goes back to us knowing ourselves, knowing who we are, and knowing why we are here. Now, knowing who you are, what you want to do is one different thing, altogether. walking that journey now is another different thing. Because if you ask people, what do you want to do? What do you want to be? Everyone has an idea. Like we said, from a very tender age, everyone has an idea of who or what their purpose is in life, right? But now it hits you that for you to live and experience that life, for you to live and experience that dream, it's only you again who can walk that path. Let's say your life calling is in helping children, helping, just as an example, helping children with special needs, or something of the sort.
Yes.
And you find that is what is fulfilling you. That's what's making you come to life. Knowing that is one
Yes.
thing. Going out there and tending to these children, going out there amidst the struggles, you understand, waking up daily. We have a slogan from where I come from that says, do something daily. Just as a motivation, we have a club of artists. Just as a motivation, we say, do something daily that's working towards your dream. Most of the people we have, and what's happening in the society that we're living in right now, especially among our generation, is that we have people
Yes.
who have well-paying jobs. Like I think Vincent was saying, people who are in employment, they're making money, but they are not fulfilled because now this person became like a zombie. And I'll use banking, for example, Jane, because you've been a banker. Someone walks to the bank every morning, 8 to 5. It's ni kama kusukumwa na sukumwa, but they are not alive. Ikifika Friday hivi, that person is missing. That person is in Masai Mara or somewhere else traveling, because why? Traveling is what brings them to life. Traveling is
Yes.
what makes them feel fulfilled. But this person doesn't want to accept that even at their age or even at the stage they are in their career, they can follow this traveling and make it their everyday thing. That way, you don't feel like
Yes.
you're waking up to go to work. You wake up to do something that you love, and the
That you
money
love.
and everything else follows. Yeah, yeah. That's maybe my take on that.
Queen B, if I will ask you the same question again, what makes us walk through life with unfulfilled dreams?
I think one of the big, let's say, points on this would be people fear taking risks. Following your dreams requires you to take certain risks in life. Like the risk you took quitting your job, that is a risk you took. So you have to take a risk so that you can achieve your goals. You choose either to follow them or you choose not to follow them. The other thing I think that makes people give up on their dreams, you might find that people like procrastinating a lot, especially in this generation. This generation of say and not do is what kills dreams. And before you realize it, time has gone. You think you have time, but by the time you realize, ukisema utaanza kesho kutwa, you're 30, you're 35, and now you're frustrated because time flew and you don't know what you did with your life. So lacking focus also is one of those things that contributes to it. And in this also generation we live in, you realize some dreams might be really high to reach. By saying high, I mean by high in terms of maybe expense, or maybe you're not in a position to get exactly where you want to be. So the harder you try, the more frustrated you become. So let's say, for instance, a footballer in Kenya, like you begin at the county league. Imagine sasa you're in Meru, you're playing in the districts, and you are in your mind, your dream, you want to go to Manchester. You don't even have a ticket, you don't have nothing, so you try so hard, unapata umefika miaka 22 bado uko kwa county league. Don't you think that dream could now start killing you?
Yeah.
So I think that some dreams might be too big for us. But the one thing I know about dreaming big is you might not reach, wanasemanga, you aim for the what? Hata ukianguka utaanguka mbali sana. Yes, 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 yes. So,
In other words, you're saying
having
that.
dreams. Mm-hmm. Sorry.
Continue.
Oh, yeah. In other words, what I'm saying is know how to set your goals bit by bit. That is the advice I give to my friends. Set your goals bit by bit. Sema, right now, if I'm starting my football career, my dream, my goal at
Yes.
this point is to reach to the county. Work towards that goal, get to the county, and then from the county you can say,
Yes.
right now my goal is to get to the Kenyan teams, tuseme. So like, as you have a big dream, yes, but towards that dream have many goals that also you should celebrate when you achieve, kwa sababu hizo mini goals ndo zitakuja zimake now the bigger picture ikam true. Because now if you
Yes.
start dreaming like a mad person and say I want to be a superstar tomorrow, you will be frustrated, you will commit suicide.
In other words, we have to set the very realistic goals.
Exactly, yeah. Set realistic goals towards your dream. Yeah.
Thank you. Vincent, the same question. What makes us walk through life with unfulfilled dreams?
I think I'll go back to background and parenting. I don't know whether I'll be repetitive, but as where I sit today and who I was, let's say 15, 16 years back, it's very different.
Yes.
My background, it was about you go out there, get good grades, get a good job, go buy land, get a wife, get a good wife, have kids, and that's it.
Yes.
And so for the first years in my career, I struggled with these things because I was like, the first year is gone, the second year is gone, the third year is gone, 10th year is gone. I still do not have these things, and I feel like I'm losing it.
Yes.
But then when I embarked on the journey of understanding whom I am and why I'm here and why I was created, I realized we are two polars between what my parent and my background and my family and my society told me and to what I'm supposed to be. So what basically I've come to realize is that I've started my journey all over again. It's like I've been, actually, let me use the word being born again. I've been born again. Now I'm a new creation. Now in this new creation, I have to remove the old in me and then impute the new one with the new ambition. So one thing is that people are not willing to pay the price. People are not willing to sacrifice, and people are not willing to walk the talk. Another thing that is affecting us is the hard mentality. I think we discussed that when we were discussing about addiction. You go to our new workplace, they tell you it is always about money. Like police work, it's always about getting bribes, getting the best out, as much as possible in each and every day. And then the moment you get into that hard, you'll never be able to free yourself. And along the way, you realize that, yes, we have the money. Let me use this example because it is in public domain. There's a guy who happens to live around Kasarani. He had his own house. I don't know what transpired. And then he committed suicide. And then when the media people came, they had a nice bungalow. There was a few prados in the parking lot. And you ask yourself, okay, what could have transpired? And then now we go back to what we are discussing today. So as we have said, we have a generation that is procrastinating forever. We have a generation that is entitled. We have a generation of everything is instant, everything is wireless, everything is, we get today, tomorrow, umehit. And we can tell us maybe her story, how many years it has taken her to be able to be in that level. You understand? And I want to challenge people that you don't have to start big. I know there are people we emulate, but we don't have to start at their own level. There's somewhere that they started. Steve Harvey once told a story about this teacher of his. And this teacher asked each and every kid, what do you want to be? And Steve Harvey said, kids will be like, I want to be a doctor, something that sounds posh. I want to be a doctor, I want to be a pilot, or I want to be an engineer, those kind of stuff. Steve Harvey rose and started and said that I want to be on TV. He didn't know what he wanted. And then along the way, that came to manifest. Do you know what he does each and every end of the year? There's the way Samsung releases their product, they release their product at the end of the year. So what he does, each and every new product relating to digital TV that they release, Steve Harvey buys it and sends it to that teacher so that he can see him on TV as he said.
On TV.
Yes, now the teacher understands what the boy was talking about then. So what I'm trying to say that our dreams sometimes are bigger than us, and of course they are supposed to be bigger than us because it doesn't just go with us. We connect it to the next generation. We connect it to our kids and the kids of our kids. Look at what Mandela was able to do. Even years to come will be mentioned. Look at the American history, the people who wrote their constitution and fought for their liberation. We still hear about their stories. Those are people who rose to that point and did what they were supposed to do at their particular point. So there are so many things that are making us not realize our full potential or live our dreams, and it is a list of them. But I think as I highlighted, those are the main things that are making us not live a fulfilled life. And I think the worst part is capitalism, whereby we are focusing on making so much money. We have commercialized everything to an extent. I know bills have to be paid, but I think there is also that human aspect that we ought to share with the rest of humanity. So I think for me, those are the things that I can be able to highlight for now. The list is endless.
Yes. Mr. Muni, Vincent has come up with something that setting unrealistic goals, inafanya maybe it's not about money, unakuta mtu commit suicide. We have actually found so many people that have committed suicide because of failure in one way or the other. Sana finances, we still have others that have lost it all. Wanaishi lakini they have lost it all completely just because they failed on just a single aspect. How should we handle that?
Our goals and our dreams are supposed to be big.
Yes.
Just like Vincent said, they're supposed to be bigger than us. If achieving those which we call big dreams and big goals was as easy, I think everyone would be, thriving in success right now.
Yes.
But it takes that person who gets the big dream and realizes that this is a big dream, and it's not going to take a year or two to fulfill it. Me, I like dreamers. I am in the creative world, and I interact a lot with creatives, with artists, and I like people who present to you an idea and they're telling you this is a 2 years plan. In 2 years, this is where I want to be. So sadly, there's that thing. One, it goes back to society again. What is the true measure of success? People will want to say you're successful when you've achieved, when you bought this, when you build, like Vincent was saying, during his career, there are those things that are expected of you. You need to do ABCD. People will equate success to that. But trust you me, waking up, if your goal and your dream is to learn Chinese, and tomorrow you wake up and you're able to draw those two things, 3 of them or four of them, that is success on its own, working towards that Chinese dream. But it's only you who wants to learn Chinese. So it's only you who can celebrate yourself, like Queen B had said, even for the small wins. Because if you're able to celebrate your small wins, you'll not feel overwhelmed when, say maybe the dream feels like it's taking too long, or your goals feel like they're taking too long. You won't feel drained. You'll have something small to celebrate. So it's being able to understand that if the vision is big, it's going to take time. You understand? But then again, when it comes to, and this is, to take us back probably to the law of attraction. The law of attraction states, that everything that you're thinking about, you're attracting what it is that you're thinking about. So I'll take it back to Queen B, because with her it's usually more practical. The 7-year-old girl who was dreaming on being on screen, she was attracting people, who would come into her life and guide her when the time is right. You understand? So every time you think it's a dream, don't just get obsessed with achievement. also get obsessed with dreaming the dream. You understand?
Yes.
Keeping it burning. Like if your dream is to be, again, for just another example, like Vincent had said, what Harvey said, to be on TV. Wake up and dream every day. See it. You know. Another author said that our greatest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our greatest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. So once you've seen what your dream can be, you get in a certain zone of fear. Like mimi Queen B, mimi mwenye tulikuwa hivi, Vincent naye ndio huyo. Maybe dream na goal ni kuachieve that thing that look, then ukiwa katikati unaanza kujiuliza, mimi tu ndio naweza fanya hivi. And our dreams are supposed to scare us, but let's also know, if it's been put, again, we say this is spiritual, if it's been put in you, the person who put in you, the force that put in you, the energy that put it in you already has a way. You only need to persistently and consistently wake up and work towards that. Do something daily, more or less.
Thank you. Queen B?
Sorry? The question again?
You had something?
Oh yeah.
What
I
makes
was
us
gonna add
go through
something
life? Yeah.
Yeah, go on. What makes
Okay,
us?
what makes us walk through life with unfulfilled dreams? So what is it that we say we have lost it all because of failure?
One of the things I might have left out would be also focusing on others more than you focus on yourself. You might find that some people, we realize they never lived for their self until they are too old. And then they realize how much they sacrificed for others. And how much they sacrifice for others is sacrificing their own time and energy, which they did not use to focus on their dreams. For instance, like you might find someone getting in a relationship that will limit them from following their dreams and ambition. You're just there, maybe you want to be an air hostess, but because you've been married and you want to have a family, which is what now the society expects of you, you now put your dream aside to be a mother. And once, let's say you get a divorce after 10 years or 15 years, and then you just now start thinking about your dream again. I wish I would have. I wish I didn't do this for that. So sometimes we find that we need to focus on ourselves a bit and not sacrifice too much for others and forget that this is your life and you're living it for you. Even if I have seen mothers leave their kids behind and go continue their studies abroad. That does not mean that they don't love them. That only means that she is going to follow her dreams, even if she has people in her life who need her. That is why I'm saying, like, you need to draw a line between how much you're going to sacrifice for people around you, for yourself, for your own fulfillment. Yeah, that is what I wanted to add.
Thank you, Queen B.
And also to remind you that...
Continue.
I just wanted to add on what Muni had said, and also, I wanted to just say our dreams cannot be, our dreams are limitless. Our dreams are immeasurable. Our dreams are endless. It's like your imagination. You cannot limit it. Your dreams will grow. They will develop into more and more. They will manifest into themselves. So it's up to you to achieve each short dream in short goals. That's why I was saying you need to have short-term goals, long-term goals, and don't forget the one destination is achieving that one dream.
Thank you. Thank you. If I want to read to you something of about 7 steps of goal setting by Zig Ziglar, he says that number 1, we should identify our goals. We identify that goal. 2, we list the benefits, because every goal must have a benefit. What's in it for me? 3, we list the obstacles, because tutapitia tu mashinda, the obstacles now to overcome. 4, he says we list the skills and the knowledge required. Some of the goals, of course, will require skills, will require knowledge. 3, we identify the people to work with. You know, you cannot be a lone ranger. Lazima ufanye kazi na wengine. 6, we develop a plan of action. I call it a strategic plan. You know, I'm used to that corporate world, where we used to come up with strategic plans for a company. Now, this one, I call it my own strategic plan. How am I going to put this into action? And then number 7, we set the deadline for achievement. That is where, I don't know who mentioned the short-term, long-term goals. You know, this where I will be in the next 2 years or 3 years. This is where I will be in the next 5 years. This is where I will be in the next 10 years. Well, if I want to start with Queen B, social media influence in achieving our own goals and dreams.
Well, how social media affects, sorry?
Yes, our influence. The influence on
Influence.
What's a social media influence in achieving our own? Yes.
Social media can influence us, of course, both negatively and positively, as we usually say.
Yes.
It has its own good side and its negative side. And one of the good sides sometimes can be, you know, through social media, you can see those people who, wenye wamekutangulia mbele yako, maybe in what you want to do. You can learn. For instance, if you want to be like someone like Steve Harvey, like there's so much you can learn from. There is so much you can learn from people who have done it before you, and through social media, I'm sure we can get to learn a few things from these people. But also we get to realize that the same social media might give you the illusion that it is always that simple. You know? Like, let me give you a very good and live example. I have a friend of mine who is very popular right now on TikTok. But before he was popular on TikTok, he didn't even have a phone. He would come to my house, log his account to my phone, use my phone, shoot like 50 videos at once, which he has been practicing, and then post them. Go to another friend who has a good phone, do the same. But right now he's very popular. He has over 1 million followers. And then people will now see you on TikTok and just think it was always that simple. You know, people will fail to see the work behind it because they just sing on social media. And, you know, social media people just scroll and see things and they just admire them. And then they just want to be like those people, forgetting that there is the hard work behind the person. So social media might create an illusion that it is that simple. And then now when you start working towards it and realize it is not happening for you like it is happening for those on social media, that is when you end up getting frustrated, forgetting that what you see is not the work. There is the work behind this person. So I'll say those will be one of the two positive and negative sides I will highlight about social media onto our dreams. But also I will say social media can help us, you know, build something. Like depending on what you want, depending on what your dream is, you know, do you want to create this profile? Let's say this applies to mostly, let's say, the artists, maybe the actors, even those into film. You have to build a profile for yourself. So that is where social media comes in. Let's say you now start maybe posting stuff on social media, you know, and then it helps you maybe develop your dream and to bring it to light. So I'll say social media has both positive and negative effects.
Okay. Thank you, Queen B. Vincent, the same question. What's the social media influence on achieving our goals and dreams?
I think Queen B has mentioned like almost of them.
Yes.
They cut across. They are the positive and they are the negative aspect of it. One positive is that social media will expose you to the outside world. I mean, I understand, Madam Anne, you are a good fan of Dr. Nganga. He's the thousands and thousands kilometers away. And he's in. Oh, sorry, Madam Jane. Dr. Nganga is influencing you all the way from US. So social media and in this information age can be able to catapult you to another level. And another thing, I think, look at the platform that we have here. We are reaching out to so many people. So we might not be able to change the whole
Yes.
world, but whatever we are doing, even, no matter how literate he is, it can be able to reach out on so many people. Another thing, as could be has said, it is not as easy as it looks there. There was this, I think, one of the newscaster who does political commentaries, and he said that you'll follow a politician for a whole day. You know, like those rallies of the presidential candidate, they'll go to like 3, 4, 5 stops, only for you to come and prepare a clip of 2 to 3 minutes. But look at the work that they've
Yes.
done. So you might see them there on behind the scenes, or rather on the scene, and you'll be like, "Wow, this looks so easy. I can be able to do this. I want to be a journalist." But then when it comes to whereby the rubber meets the road, now we see that's where we lose a lot of people. So I would say that just do your thing. I just realized when we are going through the issue to do with purpose-driven life, I've just realized that when I was young, I used to love to read books and write out of just sheer joy. And I was asking myself, why did I stop? I think sometimes we just think we are too civilized to do the things that we used to do. But if we reflect back onto those things,
Yes.
we can be able to understand ourselves. So I think we can also use the social media to go and to people that we admire, the people that we think they are our mentors, the people that we aspire to be, and see where they came from, and see the things that they were doing when they were still raw. And I think that can be able now to bring us to where we are today, and we can be able to ask ourselves, where am I today? Where do I want to be tomorrow? How can I be able to cast my vision? How can I be able to understand my dream? How can I be able to understand or differentiate between a passion and ambition? How do I understand that I'm living in the fulfilled life? I mean, we are in the information age, so I think it depends on how you want to invest. And I'd encourage and challenge everyone that invest wisely. I've been reflecting so much about R. Kelly. R. Kelly, when I was growing, when I was young, when we were in high school, he was the big shot then. And then I asked myself, what do you mean such a big and glorious career can just end just like that? And when he's old and aged, you lose everything that you built. And I think that can be able to speak into us in a very humongous way. So let's use the social media in the right way. Let's post what we think we need to post. You might post something and it will be critical, and that might blow up your ego. But Karaya had mentioned that if you don't like failing, then you can as well forget about success. You can as well
Success.
you can as well forget about your dreams and your ambitions and you living a fulfilled life. There are people who are going to encourage you. There are people who are going to criticize you in a negative way, and there are those who are going to do it in good faith. So it is a matter of finding a balance, what you need to do, when you need to do it, and having the right judgment on how to manage it.
Thank you. Thank you. Mr. Munyi, social
Yes.
media influence in achieving our dreams.
Social media. Yeah. Maybe, yeah, to agree with what Vincent said, we are living in an information age.
Yes.
I remember, as I think Queen Bee was speaking, I remembered back in 2012, a friend of mine, we were sitting in his office. It was a startup. And we were just discussing like where we are and, what's the way forward. And he told me, in this age we're living in, that was in 2012, in this age we're living in, the person who doesn't, learn daily, I mean, what's the quote? If you're illiterate in this age, it is out of your own self-will.
Choice.
We're living in an age where if you want to start a mitumba business, someone has already thought about it and has already put it out there, and either on social media or on whatever web platforms. But then
Yes.
social media has also done this thing, which is create illusions. I was with a friend of mine today who had a Range Rover. If I happen to take that photo and just post it, the other friend of mine who we were with yesterday might go off balance, right? They saw the Range Rover, they don't want to care whether it's borrowed, whether, what I was doing there. What they see is the range, and they're like, yo, you're doing good. So before they post a range, they'll end up feeling unfulfilled. So it's also looking at, if we're living in this
Yes.
information age, what are you taking in? When you go to social media, follow the people, yes, that inspire you, but then also be very realistic about it. And I'm saying this because I am in that industry, and trust you me, most of what is being posted, even with celebrities, even with Queen B can attest to this, even by celebrities, they'll post a dope photo, but that person is going through hell. Do you understand? That person, if you had a one-on-one with him, sit down with him or her, they are going through hell. But they're just from posting this dope photo. So you're like, yo, life is going okay. But in truth, no, no, it is not happening. I mean, if there's anything real about social media right now, it's what we are doing. What these conversations we are having. This is as real as it gets. Wait for
Yeah,
me
for
to
sure,
Yes.
for
go
sure.
offline and come to my profile and see the photos I'll post. They'll put you off balance. So, as much as social media can influence in inspiring us, we also need to be very careful so that it doesn't mislead us. And it goes back again to celebrating your small wins. If I was let's say I went to the coast for the holiday, don't feel bad. If you're able to go to that your kaloko, post that because that is what you can afford. Be happy about it. I
Yes.
mean, be so proud of it that it's going to make me jealous wherever I am. Why you keep doing your thing and doing it to the levels that you can. Let's not let's not carry everything that's out there and demand it as part of fulfillment. If we're going to fulfill, like we have to achieve everything that's out there. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Mr. Munyi. Well, personally, what I would say about goals and ambitions is that I have used something that is called TRAP. T for talent, R for resources, A for abilities, and P for passion. And I've taken talent to something that is in me, naturally. The resources is actually what I have. What is it that I have? Then the abilities is maybe like what I went to school maybe to do, like maybe what I got, the experience I got from banking. Then passion, I would say it is what is at, kwa roho yangu, that I am very passionate about mental health. I'm very, very passionate about mental health. And with these four, somehow zimenisaidia kualign now my goals.
Yeah.
And I have set my goals in short term, middle term, and then long term. I know this is what I'll do to give me, okay, like for example, finances. This is what I'll do to give me maybe 1,000. Then when I get this 1,000, this is what I'll do, and eventually I'll end up doing the other as a long-term goal. So maybe in 1 or 2 minutes each, I start with Queen B, your parting shot.
Yeah, well, I'll just like to tell everybody at home, everybody there, just be consistent with your goal. Be consistent, be consistent. Consistency is the key to anything. Everything that you want to achieve in life, you have to be consistent. Doesn't matter whether you fail today, doesn't matter whether you make it today or tomorrow, doesn't matter if it's the day after next week. Just be consistent. Keep doing it, because the more you're doing it, the better you will get at it. So just be consistent, be persistent to pursue. By persistence, I mean pursue through it. Pursue through it, no matter the hardship, no matter the time limits, just pursue what you want and, be consistent with it. Dreams will always be bigger. And just be cautious, what Munyi had said. Big dreams will always frighten small minds. So what do you call it? Protect your goals, protect
Yes.
your dreams, because people are out here to undermine you, to underestimate you, but you're the only one who knows what you can be capable of. You're the only person who can know the intensity of how much you want to achieve your dreams and goals. So that's all I can say. Thank you so much. Until next Wednesday.
Thank you. Vincent?
My parting shot will be, and I want to be radical on this, so that at least you can be able to challenge each other to live a purpose-driven life, a life of fulfillment, a find that gives us meaning. Most of us don't like thinking about death. especially in an African setup. We don't even we acknowledge that it's taboo. But thinking about our own death surprisingly has a lot of practical advantages. One of those advantages that it forces us to zero in on what's actually important in our lives and what's just, a distraction and doesn't add value onto us. Death is the only thing that gives us a perspective on value of our lives. Because it is only in imagining your non-existence that can get a sense of what is important about your existence. And I think we need to come to a level whereby you will ask, what will your legacy? What are the stories that people are going to tell when you're gone? What is your obituary going to say about you? Is there anything to say at all? If not, what would you like to say? How can you start working towards that? Because I mean, at the end of it, it's not about the level at which we're able to achieve in our career or the buildings, the property, the wealth that we're able to amass, but the impact that we're able to the impact that we're able to make on other human beings, either in our family setup, either in our society, either in our churches, in our nation, and all those things. Let our life at the end of it be a life that is celebrated. It's not a life that we will mourn, but a life we celebrate that is a well-lived life. There was this man called David. David had a witness. God was his witness, and he said that David was a man who was after God's own heart.
Yeah.
Basically, that he was the essence of what God wanted him to be. And David that said to ask God to help him to number his days. It is only in us understanding that this life is short, that this life will count, that we are here and all the resources that we have are meant to achieve something. It's only by that we'll start being accountable, we'll be responsible, and we'll be focused. And as Queen B has said, we will protect dearly our dreams and our ambitions. Thank you.
Thank you. Dhura, are you with us? Dhura, uko na sisi? Well, I don't think so. Mr. Moon, you are parting short and you're closing remarks.
Okay. Yeah. Maybe mine for everyone who's watching us or everyone who will catch up with this conversation later is don't be so hard on yourself. I mean, at the end of the day, it's still you. It's still in you. And I think we tend to be too hard on ourselves. Let's not be the ones who brand ourselves the failure. Let us not be the ones who, instead of, I'll give an example, and it's something a friend of mine told me again
Yes.
back, I think in 2015. I was going through something and I felt like I should give up, on whatever it is that I was working on. And he told me there's a way you need to look at your life and look at it like a book. So he asked me how old I was. I think I told him back then, I think I was around 25 or so. I told him 25 and he told me, look at your life like a book and you've only done 25 chapters up until now. The good thing is you have the pen and you have the other blank pages. Choose to fill them with now a positive view. If you beat yourself up for 25 years, start a new page. If it's dreams and goals, forget everything that has happened. I think it's Vincent who mentioned this. It's a journey. And the journey we are taking right now is not an outward journey. It's not a journey for you to achieve material or success zaidi dunia per se. It's a journey taking you back to who you really are, taking you back to the source, connecting you back to who you really are in essence. That way, whatever it is that you do, however little it is, and it's a story of the hummingbird and how there was a forest fire, but the hummingbird said, with my small beak, I'll do what I can. So at the end of the day, even when it comes to personal dreams and goals, you can only do as much. And that's why we say whatever it is that you're dreaming about, you are attracting that. And it is also attracting other people to help you along the way. So don't be too hard on yourself. If you failed once, wake up tomorrow, try again. If it still doesn't work, push on the next day, and it's in that consistency that you'll wake up one day, living that dream, that life, that fulfilling life that, everyone would want. Yeah.
Thank you. Dhura, you're parting short. You can hear us? Unatusikia Dhura?
I can hear you.
You are parting short and you close for now.
Nawasikia. Being part of the conversation. Nimekuwa na follow Facebook, kuna wasi kadhaa sisi sema Steve Black huwa and then
Dhura leo nakaa baridi ya leo, yaani kuna kajua kiasi, kuna baridi.
Amefreeze leo.
Njema leo imemlemea.
Before I can say something to you guys. When
Yes.
Vincent talked about we fear thinking about death, it got me thinking. There's
Yes.
this teacher who once told us, if you could eulogize yourself, what would you want to be remembered for? Ungeandika eulogy yako wewe mwenyewe.
Yes.
Ungetaka iandikwaje? Ungetaka isomwe aje? Did you live a life that was worthy? Did you live a life that you are happy with? Always think about that.
Thank you. Seems we have lost both Dhura and Mr. Muni. So let me say thank you so much for being with us this Wednesday forum. We look forward to discussing more real matters and to bringing more people on board so that we can share more. Personally, on goals and ambitions, I think I have just learned, there is no one with a monopoly of information. It is about what we discuss that will make us forge forward. So thank you guys, and may God bless you.
Thank you. Naona Dhura anakuja.
All right, bye guys.
I don't know. Yeah.
Dhura leo ako timao.
Dhura ako mbali. I think now we can
Dhura tumejikata bana.